Going live. Hi everyone, it's Tasha with Stardust Gold Crochet. Welcome to the Jingle All the Way Crochet Along Live. This is my first time using StreamYard and streaming to a bunch of different platforms, so I'm a little nervous and I've had anxiety about it all day, but I'm going to jump right into it. So the Jingle All the Way Crochet Along is a 4-week crochet along for this pattern, which is a VW bust, and I added some plaid to it. Hi there. There are 3 different versions of the bust pattern. There's one that has just a retro pink, and then there's one that has a solid red classic VW bust. So this pattern is a free pattern on my blog, and it's stardustgoldcrochet.com, and I put all the links in so you can see them. Hello, everybody. Um, so what I'm going to talk about today is how to read a graph. I'm going to show you how to reduce from both sides. This is a rectangle and not a square. So hi Melissa, the last blanket I did was a complete square, which is different. It's easy to reduce from both sides on a square one, but not necessarily on a rectangle. So I'm just going to show you real quick how to do reducing from the corners when it's a rectangle. And then I'm also going to play the basic C2C video that I created, and it's on my YouTube channel. So the basic C2C is just going to teach you how to do C2C and reduce and decrease. So let's get, well, also, before I get started on all that, I wanted to tell you guys about the holiday bundle. If you haven't seen this one yet, this is a 45 pattern bundle that's taking place right now, and it ends on Friday. Okay. Melissa said the video is all the video we all need. Oh, okay. Well, this bundle ends Friday, so if you guys haven't checked this out, check it out. You can go to my blog, and there's a post on there that will tell you everything about this bundle. So I'm going to jump right in then and show you guys a picture, or show you guys what is in the C2C, or the Jingle All the Way C2C blanket pattern. And I'm going to Here I am again. I'm so new to this. This is kind of cool. So this is basically how you do C2C. Your first step is to chain 5, and then you're going to double crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook, and then double crochet in the next 2 chains, and then your row 1 is complete. So you have 3 double crochets. So after that, for row 2, you kind of flip it up, and then you work into the Now let's get to watching the video. So I'm going to add this video to the stream.
Hi everyone, Tasha
And
here from
let me
Stardust
know
Gold
if you guys can
Crochet.
hear it or not.
Today we're going to do a little tutorial for C2C in companion
Remove
to
my
my corner to corner calculator for how big your blanket size will be. So what this is, a corner to corner, is used as a graph. Hi everyone, Tasha here from Stardust Gold Crochet. Today we're going to do a little tutorial for C2C in companion to my corner to corner calculator for how big your blanket size will be. So what this is, a corner to corner, is used as a graph, and it works from one corner to another corner, and it goes diagonally instead of working in rows. But you can obviously work a graph in rows too. But the corner to corner blanket works this way, which is really interesting. You can create some really great patterns with it. So for the tutorial, I want to just give you an idea about what C2C is, how to make some color changes, and also how to do some decreasing and some increasing, and what that means with corner to corner, because it can be kind of confusing. So, and also another question that a lot of people ask, including myself, is how big will my blanket be? So that's a universal question, because everybody has a different tension, and everybody's using a different hook size, a different yarn size. So the calculator I made will help you determine how big your blanket will be according to how many squares you have in your graph, as well as a swatch that you make. And I'll go into that. The link will be down below for the other video on how to use the calculator. It's really simple, not complicated at all, so don't be scared. So let's get started on this little swatch pattern, and I'll show you guys how to do some C2C. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to work 3 squares using red. And to start, go ahead and grab your yarn. I'm using 24/7 cotton, a 4mm hook. And so the first thing you do, like with most crochet, is we're going to go ahead and make a slip knot. And I'm going to zoom just a little bit. And so for corner to corner, you can start out using 6 chains or 5 chains. The difference between those two the 6 chains, you'll have a little bit bigger square, and the holes will be slightly bigger. I'm going to show you what I mean by that. The holes between each of the squares right here, those tend to be really large when you use the 6 method, when you chain 6 and then chain 3 between each of the squares. I like to chain 5 and then chain 2 between each of the squares, because it leaves a slightly smaller hole. You can see it's pretty, can't really see holes that much. But so for this tutorial, I'm going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then with C2C, we're going to work 3 double crochets into the very first 3 chains. So you're going to start by counting down 1, 2, 3, and work into the 3rd chain from the hook and do a double crochet, and then go into this chain and do a double crochet. Then the 3rd chain, do a double crochet, and there's your first square. So we've made our first square. Now we're going to work our 2nd square. And a good indication of where you're started is where your tail is. So that's going to be your square, because your tail comes off and goes to the right. So with C2C, you kind of work a little backwards and forwards. But so here we're going to do the next row. Technically, that would be row 1 that we just worked, which is right here. And we worked, it's going to lay this way. So now we're going to extend it and then work row 2. So the way you extend it is you're going to go ahead and chain 5 again. And then work in the 3rd chain from the hook again. And do 3 double crochets in each chain until you reach the base part. So there we have our extension, and we've actually worked this square. So we have this square and this square worked right now. And it looks a little crazy and kind of confusing, but what you do here is you want to bring up, if they were side by side like this, on your first square, you want to flip it it up side by side like that, and then work into the space of the last double crochet that you did. Sorry about that. Okay, and then do a slip stitch, and here we're going to make our next square, which is going to be this one. So we're not going to do an extension, we're just going to chain 2 and then work 3 double crochets into that space. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. And there we've worked our first little section right there. So for the next row, we're going to go ahead and change colors, and we're going to work it in orange. So how to change colors is fairly simple, and it's the same method you use when you join using row to row crochet. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull out the very top part of our last stitch, reinsert your hook. And of course you can, before you even complete this stitch on the next one, you can use a new color. Then add your new yarn to your hook and pull through to complete your stitch. So there we have our new color. Very easy. And so with the pattern, you can see we're going to extend off here. So we're going to chain 5 over here and then work our way back up this way. So we're going to chain 5, 3, 4, 5. And here we're going to work back down the chain into the 3rd chain from the hook. Double crochets, 3 of them in one in each chain. The joins are always, they always get a little bit loose, just no big deal. Just tug on them if they get loose. And so here we've made our first square of the new color, and we want to do the same things we did before, is join them. So how we do that is you have to flip it and put it side by side and then go into that top double crochet space and do a slip stitch, and that joins them. And then chain 2, 3 more double crochets, sometimes it's easy to fold this little piece back to get it out of the way when you're working. And so here we're going to do our join into the next double crochet space there, slip stitch, chain 2, 3 more double crochets, and our row will be complete. And I recommend marking the front of what would be the front of your project with a stitch marker, or loop through a little piece of yarn or something so you know which direction you're facing. It really helps when you're working a big graph. So here we have our comparison, and we've got our 1, 2, and 3 rows. It's 1, 2, 3. So now let's go ahead and we'll make changing up the colors again to yellow. Just so you can get used to color changes. So we'll do the next row in yellow.
So I think I'm going to interject now and tell everybody to go watch the rest of this video. on my YouTube channel. It'll be there for a long time, but I didn't want to take too long because I want to show you guys how to reduce from a rectangle version instead of just a square version. So I'm going to take that off. And so Ruthie said, Ruthie's on, oh, wrong one. Okay, Ruthie said, I can't read a pattern, a written pattern. Are you going to post videos for the cow? So I'm not going to post videos showing, you know, crocheting this entire blanket, mostly because it's a giant blanket and it would take me it took me a month to make my last blanket. So yeah, that's probably not going to happen. But what I will do is show you how to read a graph. And when you read a graph, each square in the graph represents a stitch. So when you start the pattern, you start, if you're a right-handed person, from the bottom right-hand corner of your graph, and then you work diagonally. So each stitch goes just like the video that we just saw, goes diagonal like that, and you work your rows. And then when you reach your colors, you add your color and then keep going. And then you just, if you're working from a graph, you can cross off your stitches as you go. But this pattern is also a written pattern on the blog. So what it means by written is it'll basically say a color times the number of squares you're going to crochet. So for instance, this would be, the first one would be 1 square, white times 1 square. The second row would be white times 2 squares. The third would be white times 3 squares, and so on. And then when it gets to the changing of the colors, it'll say, let's say 1, 2, 3, it'll say white 6, gray 1, and then white however many left. So it's really easy to work and read C2C graph GAN patterns. It's super easy. So for Ruthie, I think you'll be okay with this one. I don't think you'll have much of a problem with it. And so for those who know how to do C2C and want to learn how to reduce from one side and not the other side, because this is a rectangle pattern. So we're going to be reducing, like when we get up to here, we're going to be reducing from one side, but still increasing on the other side. So how that works is I've created a little swatch here. You're always going to mark the right side of your pattern, and inside the pattern, it's denoted with WS or RS, right side or wrong side. So this will be the right side. And so I'm going to do this little swatch here, and we're just going to decrease from the right side only. So that means when it's facing you, you'll decrease on that side and then continue increasing on the other side. So I've already done this part. I'm just going to go through and start decreasing from the right side. So the way you decrease is this is going to be kind of weird to do it like this. You slip stitch through like that, and then you turn your work. I'm going to show you like this. And then you slip stitch through all 3 of the top double crochets that are there, like that. And I also slip stitch through the chain. Oh, okay, so that's my decrease. That's how you do a decrease. And then you chain 2 just like normal, and you do your 3 double crochets into the next one, and that right there is your first stitch of your next row. And then you work down just like normal. I didn't do this swatch too big because I figured it would be really kind of you know. So I'm just going to crochet this up super quick, and then we're going to increase on the other side and then decrease again when we get back to the other side. So if anybody has any questions, let me know. Somebody said, just coming. How many rows are you on now before December? I'm not really sure what that means. So far, we've posted 68 rows, and there's rows 1 through 68 are up, and then every Monday through the entire month, I'm going to post all the rows. And I kind of sectioned them out so that when the larger rows, like these rows here, are 85 stitches each. So you'll have fewer rows on week 3 than you will on week 1 and week 4. So you don't feel overwhelmed because it's going to be a lot. Okay, so. Oh, thanks, Melissa. She said, I wish I found you and your channel years ago. Thank you. Okay, so I just finished doing that that one row, and you see we decreased on this side, and then we did another increase. Well, we're about to do an increase here, so this is going to be an increase. So you're increasing when you add 5 chains, and then when we get back to the other side, we'll do a decrease. And then you flip it up. Somebody asked if where were you here years ago? I started doing my blog in 2017. So I've been here a while. I just did it wrong. So I did it wrong to start. And what happens when you do it wrong is not a lot of people see you. So I've learned how to do it right now, and I'm trying to be more visible, I guess. I've always had social anxiety, so this is kind of a stepping out of my comfort zone right now, really bad. But I don't mind doing tutorials where just my hands are on camera. Okay, so now I'm back to this part here. And so we're going to decrease again from that side. So we're creating a straight line over here, and we're still increasing on this side. So I'm slip stitching, turning, and then I'm going back through and slip stitching along the edge. And that's basically how you decrease in C2C. Hope you guys can see this okay. Thanks, Melissa. I appreciate that. So you can see it's turning into a rectangle. So once you get to the point where it's in the pattern where it says decrease from wrong side, then you're going to start decreasing from the other side too. It'll denote it in the written pattern, and you'll see it when you come across it. It'll say decrease from right side or decrease from wrong side. And just remember, you want to decrease from the side where your stitch marker is, and that's it. So that's pretty easy. I hope you guys get it. If not, I'll post another video in the crochet along group. And oh, thanks. It just says Facebook user, so I don't know who said that, but thank you, because yeah, it's a lot. Social anxiety. I never knew what anxiety was until I ended up in the hospital one time, and with the entire right side of my body numb, or left side of my body, and my heart was racing. I didn't know what was going on, and the doctors, when I left, I looked at the paper and it said diagnosis anxiety, and I was like, I don't have anxiety, but of course I know what it is now, and I know I did have it. But anyway, well, I appreciate you guys being here. Please check out all the videos. If you have any questions, let me know. I don't see any on here that, let's see. Wait, somebody said, do you have any left-handed directions? Well, the thing about C2C for left-handed, let's see. Okay, there it is. I put it on the screen. C2C is reversible, but so it doesn't really matter which way you crochet it. If you're going by the graph, I can probably do a written from left to right, written pattern from left to right. But if you were to crochet this from corner to corner, either corner to corner, whichever corner to corner, you're going to get the same pattern. You would just, you know, when you lay it on your couch, you would just flip it over, and it would be the words would say the right thing. So it's the same on the front as it is on the back. And there really is no difference between that. So you're good on that if you're a left-handed user or a left-handed crocheter. Okay, let's see. Crystal says, where's Crystal? Crystal, there she, oh, that's the wrong one. Thank you, Crystal. I appreciate you too. Where is it said? Okay, so somebody said, what size crochet hook do you suggest? I'm using a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook with the worsted weight yarn from Impeccable. And this suggests to use a, let's see, I think it's yarn suggestion is 5 millimeter, but I went up by 0.5 because, and that's an H hook. It's I9, sorry. 5.5 is an I9, but it says to use an H hook, but I went up one thing. So I like it because it creates a looser stitch. And so, wait, Crystal, it's very easy. If you know how to do double crochets, you can do C2C. What I would do is just practice on a swatch, just create a solid swatch like this, and just, the only difficult part I could think about it would be to flip it. And that's the flipping part. I'm going to add this to my stream. Kind of strange at first, but once you do it, I think you'll do fine. You just flip it up like with your thumb. Watch the C2C basics video, and I think you'll get it. It'll be just fine. So let's see. But not the picture words and picks coming out backwards. Wait, somebody wrote, but not the picture words and picks out comes out backwards. I don't know about that. I'll have to look into more left-handed C2C and see what the difference is. I don't see how it would make a difference because you would just, oh, I think no, it wouldn't make a difference, I don't think. I'll have to talk to my crochet buddies about that. For lefties. Okay, well, I'm going to check it out for lefties and see what there is. I know that I can reverse the pattern for you, so maybe I'll try reversing the pattern and see if that would work for a left-handed user to reverse it. This pattern is from right to left, so I could do a from left to right pattern perhaps, but really I think that if you were to crochet it anyway and then just flip your blanket, I don't think the words would come out backwards, but maybe they would. I'll have to ask my crochet community. Okay. Oh, thank you. Somebody wrote for Dora. Okay, well, if anybody has any more questions, let me know. And if anybody knows about lefties, C2C for lefties, please let me know, because I'm not really sure who wrote the comment because it just says Facebook user, but I would be really curious to know what you do if you're a left-handed crocheter who does C2C. And I think that's all. So in the book, it has these sectioned out patterns, which I need to actually add to the blog post because I hadn't done that yet. But oh, Melissa said, I wish I knew too. I'm a lefty too. Well, guess what? I'm going to figure that out because there has to, I'm going to do so. I'll test it. I'm going to do a test. I'll create a little swatch of something with a word and then crochet it up and see what happens. Oh, decreasing. Yeah, decreasing is not as hard as I thought it was going to be. Somebody asked if I'm doing the cowl on here, and no, I'm actually, the cowl takes place on my blog. That's where the written pattern is. I pop into the crochet along group, and that's where everybody posts stuff, and then I come in and do tutorials sometimes, or just come in and do a live and crochet and see, what everybody's working on and stuff like that. That's about it. I'm going to rip this back though, because this this gray color is not, this is the true gray. I don't know that I like it very much. It's kind of scratchy, but okay. Well, all right, you guys, I'm going to get off here. And if you guys have any questions, leave them below. On the replay, just do hashtag replay so that I know you're commenting if you're watching it on the replay. And don't forget to check out the winter bundle. This is 45 patterns, plus you get 3 free patterns of mine. And then watch the C2C video. I put all the links down below in the comments. So you guys happy crocheting, and let me know if you need anything from me. Just leave a comment, and I really appreciate you guys being here and all the comments you guys left and the support and everything. So I hope you guys are good. When are we doing this again? You mean a live? I'm going to come on. I'm going to try to do lives on Wednesdays and Fridays for the crochet along. So all the way up through December. I just got StreamYard, so I'm still learning this. And what I was going to do tonight was have 2 cameras set up and actually do a live demonstration. But it was a mess, and then there was this echo, and it was like, rah, rah, rah. And I was like, oh my God, no, I'm not doing this right now. So I'm going to have to learn this. And then what I think my friend Lynette, who did the crochet along for you guys a couple weeks ago, she kind of gave me some pointers. Thank you, Lynette, because it really helped. So what I've discovered, or what she would, not what I discovered, what she told me I could do is upload videos. So what I can do is upload a tutorial video and then just upload it and play it during the live. And so it'll be just like I'm actually doing it, but better lighting, because I hate this lighting. Daylight savings and it's nighttime. Right in Memphis, I'm in Memphis, and it's, what time is it? It's 8:30 in Memphis. So is this a good time for everybody? 8:30? Good night, Diane. Oh, thank you, Lynette. Oh, nerve-wracking. Thank God this is not high definition, that's for sure. I put it on earlier and I was like, woof, okay, no, I need to put on some makeup or something. I'm just too self-conscious, y'all. Way too self-conscious. All right, well, let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you guys soon. Bye. Happy crocheting.